Okay. I have my camera bag. I have the hat for the shoot, which I'll just wear for now.
You're Dan? I'm not going.
And I've got the clothes for the shoot. And I need my khakis. Right.
Glasses?
Yeah. Oh, it's bright. That's better. You can see me now. Alright. Camera bag. Clothes. And the hat.
And glasses.
Ah, you poked them in my ear. Alright. And then I just need to grab my phone and my lip balm. Most important thing. Probably can't film while I'm driving, so I'm just going to say now I'm heading off to a shoot in the city. You can clean it. Much better. I am leaving Dan behind today, but I'm going to go do a quick test shoot in Sydney today. Should be fun. Got a couple of clothes and a really small team, just the model and the makeup artist. And I can see you. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna go.
Have fun.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too. Have a good day.
Bye, Dan.
Bye.
So, I just got to the shoot location and I'm waiting for the team. It is 2:10 at the moment and it's quite sunny with like a few clouds here and there, so it's like, I don't know, I think we'll be able to get a nice variety of shots because sometimes it's like bright sunny and other times it gets quite gloomy when the clouds pass over the sun, so it should be really good. Just finished the shoot and it went really well. I'm so sorry I didn't really vlog while we were shooting. I just really tend to get into the mood of shooting. Like, I don't know, when I start taking photos, like it's sort of all I think about and I kind of forgot to vlog. And then I think today when I get home I'm going to maybe talk to you guys through my process of editing a little bit more so you can see that side of my photography instead of the shooting side. Maybe next time I'll vlog a bit more. Jasmine was amazing to work with and we had a great time shooting and I think I got some really awesome photos that I'm super happy with, so I can't wait to go home and have a look through them and edit them. Just having a look at Google Maps. Apparently there's a bit of traffic and it's going to take me an hour and a half to get home. I hate sitting in traffic, but I guess that's what I gotta do. I just got home from the shoot today. Since I didn't get the chance to vlog that much today, I feel like I was just, I don't know, there's like so much going on. It was like windy and we were on the edge of a cliff, so yeah, I didn't vlog too much. So to make up for that, I was thinking I could go through the process of how I edit my shoots in Lightroom and show you guys how I do that. Yeah, so I'm going to show you that right now. Here we are inside my computer now. The first thing that I do is plug in my SD card into my iMac, so it's just up here. Then I'll go into my main hard drive and go to my folder and make a new folder with the date backwards. So I have 2016, it's November, so I put 11 and the date is 15. And that sort of helps keep my folders in order, one from another. It's a little bit messed up here because I have some things that Dan had downloaded for me that I copied onto my computer. But otherwise I keep all my things with the date backwards. So I can sort it by name and it'll be in order. And then I have a little subcategory called fashion for any sort of test shoots, campaigns, lookbooks, any sort of fashion work that I do, I name it fashion. And then I describe sort of what it is. So today I did a test shoot with a model called Jasmine, so I just named it Jasmine Test. So opening this folder, I've already copied over the folder with all my photos onto my hard drive to save you from watching it copy over for like 5 minutes. So once all the photos are here, I'm going to go back and rename it 0.1D selects. So that means all these photos are not selected yet. So I really love selecting my photos in Photo Mechanic, just here. I love this program because it's super fast to load and you don't have to wait while you're clicking to the next photo for it to sort of get into focus. I used to use Adobe Bridge to select my photos, but it is an extremely slow program to select with. So now I just use it sort of for file management sometimes and for batch renaming photos as well. So I've got Photo Mechanic open. I opened up the folder of photos that we had just downloaded. So this is my test shoot today. I shot 1,477 photos. So that's a lot of photos to go through today. The first thing that I do is I double click on the first photo and it'll open it up nice and big so you can see what it looks like. The aim here is to go through each photo one by one and either put 1 or 0 stars to it. So basically this is just like the first batch selection of photos, which I might have to fast forward through considering how many photos there are in this series, but we'll see how we go. So this is literally the first shot of the day. It was just sort of like setting up lighting, getting warmed up. So I'm just gonna have a look. I just go through each photo one by one. And what I'm basically looking for in this first sort of selection process is basically any photo that's sharp, that overall looks aesthetically pleasing and could make it into the final edit. I'm not worrying too much of selecting like the final photos of the day. Well, for instance, I really love this photo. It's like almost sharp, but I feel like her pose and like her gaze look really good, so I'm going to put 1 star on that just by pressing the number 1 key. So yeah, I just keep going through any photo that I like, even in the slightest. I'll just put 1 star on it. I think I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this process a little bit. Sometimes while I'm going through photos and I'm just looking at the facial expression and just trying to quickly get through like the thousands of photos that I took that day, sometimes a photo will really captivate me in like the split second that I see it, and I know it has to be a final edit. For example, I was just going through these photos and as I was flicking through, I just noticed that this photo has like everything that I love in a picture. And when I see a photo like that, I give it 2 stars instantly because I know it captivated me in that split second that I was looking at it, that if I spend more time on this image, like working on it in Lightroom and stuff like that, it'll be a great image when I'm finished with it. So I'm giving it 2 stars instead of 1 because I know that this is going to be a final edit image. Now that we've gone ahead and made our first selection on all our images, I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder called 02 Selects. Then I'm going to just show all the 1-star images, select them all and move them into our selects folder. So that way we have our 0 stars and 1-star images separated and it's easier to look through. So the next part of the selection process is to refine down our selections and ultimately make a choice of what our final 10 or 20 images are going to be. So when you have a look just at the thumbnails of all the images, you can see that there are groups of photos that look quite similar. For example, these photos and then these photos all look quite similar. So the aim here is to try and pick out the best 1 or 2 photos in those little groups of photos throughout all our images. This time I'm going to give the next selection of photos 2 stars instead of 1, as that's our next step in the selection process. Finished the second selection process. So I'm going to close this window and move all the 1-star images back into the deselect folder. And then we are just left with all the images that we just gave 2 stars to. So now you can see we have a much clearer selection of images that we can choose our final photos from. So for this process, I actually really like moving on to Adobe Bridge to do the final selection. So I'm just going to open that up. Just from the thumbnails, I feel like this first image really stands out to me, so I'm going to give it 1 star. And then I really love this photo because her pose is really different to anything else that we've shot throughout the shoot. So I'm going to give that 1 star. And then out of these 2 images, they're pretty similar, but I think I prefer this photo where she's got a little piece of hair on her face. I feel like it adds a little bit more mystery to the photo. It has a bit more dynamic because her face is more obscured, but you can still see it. So I'm going to give that 1 star and skip this photo. Continuing on, I really like this image here because of the little effect that it has. I had a little piece of glass that I held up in front of the lens while I was taking photos. So while I think this is a stronger portrait, I'm actually going to try and work on this image and see what we can do in editing to make it look a little bit more punchy and vibrant. So we'll see what we can do with that image. I really love this close-up, so I'm going to give that 1 star. Then out of these photos against the grey backdrop, I love this image because she's got a very different pose and I love how she's gazing away, so I'll give that a star. As well as this one, she's got some great movement in her hair from the wind that was blowing in. Then I really want to include a full body photo as well. I think this one here on the right is stronger. Her overall pose and her facial expression is just, it's very strong and captivating, so I'll select this one over this image. Out of these photos where she's sitting down, I really love this one. She just looks very relaxed. Her facial expression is great. I love the way her arms are placed, so I'll give that a star and leave the others. And then we've got these 2, which, looking at them, I feel like her hair sits better in this image and frames her face really nicely, so I'm going to select this one. Now we have a few close-ups here, so I think I'm going to select 1 out of all these images. Just flicking through, I love flicking through and just keeping my eye on a specific part of the image while I'm looking. The first thing that I love to look at is the eyes, so I'll keep my focus on the eyes while I'm flicking through all these photos. And to me, it looks like she has a stronger expression in these portrait images. So I'm going to select between one of these 2. And I think I prefer this one. Her facial expression is a little bit softer in this photo compared to this one, and I love the placement of her arms as well. I think it frames the portrait really nicely. And now out of these sitting down ones, this is the image that had first caught my eye in the first selection process and I gave it 2 stars straight away, so I'm gonna definitely choose this one because I love it. And then we've got a couple more close-up photos. I really love this one. I love the framing of this. It sort of flows into the frame really nicely. I love her hair, I love her facial expression, so I'll put that one in. And then I also really love this image because it's a different close-up portrait where she's not looking at the lens. And then we've got these 3 photos where I feel like this last one fits in really nicely. I really love the movement of the hair in this photo. The wind had just picked up and there was like a giant gust while we were on the edge of the cliff, and I thought this looked really great, so I'll include this. And then we've got a few of her standing on the cliff. I think I might just pick 1 photo out of these because they're all quite similar. I think this one's my favorite just because her pose again is completely different to anything else that we shot on the day, and I love the angle, how you can see the water. So I think this will make a really great shot. And then moving on, we've got a few photos here where she's wearing a hat. I actually really love her facial expression in this one, so I'll pick that. And just to have something different, I love this photo of her profile as well. Moving on to the beach photos, I absolutely love this photo. Once again, the pose is totally different to the standard just standing straight towards and looking at the camera, so I'll select that. I also love this photo with the movement of her walking through the wave in the water, so I'll give that one a star. And we've got a couple more of her sitting down. So I just like to flick through them first, see what we've got to work with, and then go back and make a decision. This one really stood out to me. I love the framing of this photo. It's a little bit different to everything. She's more off to the left side of the image, so I'll select that one, and I'll select this one as well since she's looking at the camera and it just really works again with the framing. I love some of these close-ups. I think I might include this profile close-up. Then we've got some photos here in the